What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Making Podcasts Great Again. I am your tech stuff guy, Jay Nog, and we are here, of course, with the President of the United States of America, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, how are you today?
We're great. We're great. The Democrats are trying to shut down our country. We're not going to let them. We're not going to let them, not even close. Pete Hegseth is, we call him the administrative assistant of war because we've decided secretary is too soft and too weak and feminine. So he's the administrative assistant of war. And he's a tough son of a bitch. And we're so proud to have him. And he just stood up there in front of all those generals and called them fat pieces of shit. And we love it. We love it because we needed tough leadership. Like I've said this a lot and nobody pays attention. I said he trained at the Cobra Kai dojo in the 80s, and he sort of brings that energy to our military.
No mercy?
When somebody, when a person walks into your country, well, I forget the Cobra Kai motto. Anyway, no mercy. Let's say no mercy. Where do you go, my love? Ba-da-dun-dun-dun-dun. Where do you go? Remember No Mercy? You remember that song?
Mm-hmm.
That was
Mm-hmm.
that was No
Solid song.
Mercy. That was No Mercy. They were not from the Cobra Kai dojo. They were from El Dojo de Foreign Music.
Um, I want to get into the speeches. We're going to get into those speeches in a little bit, but today is well, this evening
And
at
you're a
sundown
football
started.
fan. You're a football fan,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
I find it interesting that you haven't brought up El Halftime Show.
Um, yeah, I mean, I've heard that you weren't that happy about it.
Some might even say I went viral on three different social media sites for it. And
That's what I've heard too. I've heard that too.
yeah, it's very interesting. No, it's horrible to have somebody who doesn't speak English doing the halftime show. It's an insult.
Do you think he's a good musician though, Mr. Bad Bunny?
You
Is it
know,
Mr. Bunny or Mr. Bad Bunny?
it's actually Mr. Rabbit. He goes more formal when he's addressing people. Uh, but he,
Business environments.
yeah, but if you hear him sing, he's got a couple of good songs. So this is off the podcast. This is way off the podcast record tech stuff. He's got a song called Dakiti, which is a hot club track. There's a nice bass to that one. And what's it called? Porto Bonito or something? I don't know what the hell they're talking about, but he's got a couple of songs I like, to be honest. He even
Mm.
did one with Drake. How about this as a presidential prediction? Remember last year uh,
Kendrick
uh,
Lamar.
when Lamar Jackson did the halftime show,
Yes,
and
talented guy.
he
Also
was
almost made the Super Bowl.
he was very nasty to Drake,
Yes.
who makes devil dogs and wonderful cakes that we like. He was very mean to Drake. Well, I did my research, and Bad Rabbit has a pretty hot song with Drake from a few years ago. How about this? If I'm running the Super Bowl, and I'm not because I wouldn't hire a Spanish person, but imagine Drake doing a little guest set 1 year after he got destroyed. The internet would probably blow up.
I mean, that's 100% going to happen. I think whoever it was going to be has to have some sort of song with Drake because that's the only way you can beat the ratings for the halftime show from last year.
Well, I called it. I see you're trying to take credit right now, but
I'm
I
not.
called
I'm,
it.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to like give props to your credit.
You should say, props, Mr. President, sir.
Props to your credit,
And
Mr.
in fact,
President.
in the spirit of Mr. Rabbit being more formal, you should probably say propers
Props.
to you, Mr. President. But you look up that Dakiti song. That's a hot. I'm telling you that even my racist loins start to bump to that one. But he doesn't. I don't know
Rakiti.
about his singing voice. It's like Daikit. Trust me. When that bass kicks in, you're gonna go, okay, this Rabbit guy is not. He's probably the best since Roger Rabbit, to be honest. But his voice is. I don't know that he's the best singer. It's very off-putting.
He was. I thought he was very good in Happy Gilmore too.
He was. It was like his sixth movie. He finally said some English. He was in Narcos. He was in Bullet Train, which is actually not a bad movie. Bullet Train.
I like that movie.
It was pretty good, right, Tech Stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Look at this guy doing
Entertaining.
pop culture.
Look at this guy. I
Somebody
saw a movie.
somebody got into pop culture by accident. Okay, we like that. You see how good a mood I am in? This is when the government shuts down. I have so much more free time to watch pornography and play golf, and it's just good Christian fun.
Of course, of course. Now, I don't know if you know today, I'm sure your daughter is celebrating, well, not really celebrating, observing Yom Kippur holiday for Jews. It's Day of Atonement, where you basically fast for your sins. And
No, it's Dave Navarro is he did a lot wrong when he was with the Chili Peppers and Jane's Addiction. So I think it's good that he's
it
apologizing.
basically broke up Jane's Addiction. I mean, that little fist fight on stage last time.
And I didn't even know he was Jewish, but it's good. We believe in forgiveness, so good. I'm glad the Jewish people are celebrating his journey.
Okay, very good. You brought up the government shutdown. You're happy about this because you get more golfing, you were saying?
But it's also, we're going to do tremendous things in terms of cutting jobs and cutting funds. Like what Doge did under Elon is going to seem like a picnic compared to what we're going to do during this shutdown.
Did you say Elon?
Remember him from Musk?
I know. I just you actually called him by his real name, which I was surprised about.
Well, what are you going to do? Sometimes, it's a weird name. It's hard to forget. I think it's weird that you think I would forget.
I'm not saying you forget. Usually he's Egon or I don't know. All right, just it's all right. So government
Very
shutdown. When do
close
you?
to criticize, counted close to criticizing the
No, no,
president. That
no,
was
not at
close.
all. Not at all.
That was criticism adjacent.
How long do you want to hold down this government shutdown for? What would work in the timetable of your life?
How about what if, oh, it looks like the government shut down November 2028. I guess no elections. Very sad, very sad. I guess I stay president if there's no government. Oh well, the stupid radical left seems to have made a big mistake.
I didn't know that was the plan. Okay.
It's not the plan. It's not the plan. It's just a sort of, things can happen a certain way, and we're looking at things happening various ways.
Okay.
Oh baby, I like the way. Oh, baby of the way you shut down government. It's everybody's having a good time. Pete Hegseth is doing speeches. I'm doing models and bottles and, great things.
Well, any date for the government to come back?
Well, we could organize like a Valentine's Day, sort of like a romantic reunion for, America.
So you mean just let it go for a few months?
Just for branding purposes, it's like why start the government up January 25th? Let's just wait a few more weeks till February, uh, whatever day Valentine's Day is.
February 14th. So wait till February 14th, then you can get, that gives you enough time for maybe come out with your next pair of sneakers, brand them for Valentine's Day.
That's true. If
Air
you love your,
lovers.
and then we have LL Cool J and Boys to Men come out. Air lovers, air lovers. This is more than a crush on your ankle when you twist it.
I like that remix. That's awesome. I think it's a great that's a great time to come back. Sell some merch, get some uh more cash flow for MAGA, and then start the government up again. Good call.
And then shut it down again.
So it's like like almost like a fake reopening,
Like
a
tantric
soft open, a
government.
soft open.
Tantric government. Do you know who Sting is? You ever heard of Sting?
Yes.
He does the very long sex where you don't, nothing happens. You just have sex forever and never climax.
Yeah.
We're gonna do that with government. We're gonna have tantric government. Oh, are we passing laws today? No, close. Not today. We're shutting it down again.
How do you think the people would feel about that?
It would be very titillating, I think. I think is the word they'd say. It'd be very exciting.
Because you give a little sexual undertone to it, think people would dig it?
I think they would. I think they're very interested. They've seen Trump, the humor man. They've seen Trump, the great president. They've seen Trump, the dictator. Now they're going to see Trump, the romance president.
Wanted to ask you really quick. Charlie Kirk's wife, very sad what happened a couple weeks ago. I
Well,
mean,
I'm
I don't
glad,
know if
excuse me, I'm glad you mentioned that because it was very sad. I offered her my bed, the night he was murdered because, she was especially vulnerable then. And I think she was going to come have sex with me. And then Melatonin said, "Oh, let her sleep in guest room." And I was like, "You cock blocking Transylvanian."
what I'm saying is that she's been appearing on podcasts, and if you watch her, there's looks like nothing has happened in her life. If that was your wife and you were assassinated 2 weeks ago, and
Oh,
she
for a
was
second. Oh, well, I thought you were going to say if my wife was assassinated and I had Kool and the Gang ready to play.
I saw you ready to start
Celebrate
doing
tonight.
drum
Come
dancing.
on.
So you're ready to start.
Melatonin is dead. There's a party going on right here. I want to bang some chicks in Mar. Now, see, I lost the rhyme. I'm so happy.
Uh,
I'm so happy. My rhyme skills are actually. You'd think happiness would be good for bars, but the bars, they've weakened my bar skills.
Sadness usually makes the best music. Sadness and drugs.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so you're saying I'm dead. Okay, that's very sad.
Yes. So what I'm
Okay.
saying is that Charlie Kirk's wife, it looks like her life is kind of back to normal, the way she's appearing and speaking. If
Oh,
your wife,
let me defend Erica Kirk right now,
yes,
who I believe her name does
she's
have
running a
three.
business, I understand.
I think her name does have three Ks in it, so that's hot. Um, but I will say this: she's a woman of incredible faith, strong faith, and that faith is that she will make a lot of money if she goes on podcasts. And so that faith in money is really strengthening her through this tough time.
She has a business going. Shouldn't you mourn your husband who allegedly was like the love of your life? I don't know. It would bother me if I saw that podcast from heaven and
And
my
you,
wife just
well, it's even worse. Imagine you're Charlie Kirk up there in heaven with Fred Trump and Jeff Epstein and Roy Den Hollander and
the whole gang.
all the great people we've ever loved, men's rights, kids' rights. And then you're just watching, man, you're watching her, and all of a sudden, like 2 months from now, she's in the White House, and you're Charlie Kirk, and you're saying, "This is beautiful that the president is ministering to my grieving widow." And then all of a sudden, your wife says, every time I visited here with Charlie, all I could think was, boy, would I like to get plowed on that Oval Office desk. And then you're Charlie Kirk watching, and Jeff Epstein and Roy Den
High
and
fiving behind
well,
you.
no, their elbow, no, they're going, oh, check this out. Your wife's gonna get the full Trump, and then all of a sudden, your wife is just getting destroyed on the White House desk. And you're just up there in heaven, and the angels are playing their harps, and your friends are all laughing at you. Here comes Rush Limbaugh and Herman Cain, and they're all saying, "Oh, look at you! Look at you! This is." But it's a rite of passage in heaven because I have sex with all my friends' wives when they die. So it's sort of like he's in the club now. It's like you've officially entered heaven if you can watch Donald Trump have sex with your widow.
Like How you get into the club? How you get into heaven?
It's like a hazing. It's like a hazing
To get
through
into
your.
fraternity?
It's a hazing that goes through your wife's, your widow's vagina,
So
which is why
classy.
it's called in heaven. It's called the Widow Vagina Club.
Now, Mr. President, I wanted to ask you, government shutdown went over. You mentioned the speech briefly.
We
You
can talk
and
about the speech.
Hegseth,
I was so
people,
good, and I think Pete might have been better. And then, I never say that, but I think Pete might have been better.
people are, I mean, what I've been reading is that the speeches didn't land the way they were intended to.
You know what? The military, they loved it. They're very strict. They don't cheer, they don't applaud, but they loved it. Uh,
One official said about Pete Hegseth, it was more like a press conference than briefing the generals. He
And
said
which,
it could have been an email.
okay, and which general said that?
It's named anonymous because he didn't want any retribution. It also,
Okay,
Hegseth
well,
called out fat generals too. He called out fat generals, which is very respectful in the military.
Fat General is actually a great up and coming rapper with Jim Crow Records. So he might have just been doing more sort of promotion and branding for the label.
Okay. Um, Also, your speech, you said military can be used on the enemy within versus the enemy within. You're saying you would use our own military on our own people.
Let me get close to the microphone when I say this. Yes,
And that's supposed to uh, get the military excited.
the military I like get very excited about the idea of going into democratic cities and sort of, going full, we call it going the full Congo, which is when you get the whole slate of violence, sexual violence, torture, murder. They love the idea of going the full Congo on democratic cities. So it's I've often said, you like football. You're a football guy, right? Tech
Yeah.
stuff. We should call you
Mhm.
football guy instead of tech stuff guy. And what do they do? What do they do for a few weeks before the games begin?
It's practice, it's mini camp,
And what else?
it's training camp.
What else?
This is the draft before that,
And we're going towards the season.
preseason games.
There you go. There, fifth time's the charm with football guy. Preseason games. So what if instead, if we're going to go to war with horrible countries like Venezuela and India and other places that don't show me proper respect, all of a sudden I say, okay, India's a big country, but where there's a decent sized Indian population? New York City. So why don't we go full war on New York City as a test? And then if we pass that test, we know, okay, we're ready. We're ready. You pick out your starting hit squad, your starting murderer, your first string rape team, and now you're ready.
You think that's a good plan?
I think it's a great plan.
Okay.
I promise no more foreign wars, but if I have to break that promise, you better believe I'm going to have our troops more than ready so that we lose. I would rather lose 500,000 Democrats in New York City than one troop in a foreign
Overseas.
fight.
Okay.
That's very deep what
I
I
see.
just
I
said.
see. I see. I
It's
see where
very
you're coming from.
profound. It's a
Yeah.
very profound statement of patriotism.
I
I would rather nuke LA than lose one Alabama shit kicker in our military on foreign soil.
I
And I
mean,
mean that. That's a very deep, I hold that oath very sacred to protect all the troops and citizens who like me.
It's true patriotism.
It's maybe the truest.
Last thing I wanted to ask you, and then it is the first episode of the month, so we have some questions
Wake
from
up, wake
Patreon
up, wake
Patriots.
up. It's the first of the month.
There we go. This is about Melania's son, Barton.
Oh boy, this guy.
The media is now trying to portray him as a lady killer.
Oh, that's true. I got a call from him late one Saturday. It was actually Sunday morning, and I was getting ready to go to sleep to skip church. And I got a call on my phone. And I'm like, what the hell number is this? I've never seen this number before. I got emotional because, me and Mesopotamia, we've always, we've had a cordial relationship as husband wife, but I never really took to her son. And I was always annoyed when he would call me Papa. And I go, no, 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 just you can call me sir and keep it moving. And so I get this call at like 4 a.m. on a Sunday. And I go, what the hell who is this? Who the hell's calling the president? And I hear, Papa. And I said, are you drunk? I told you not to call me Papa. And he says, I think I have problem, Papa, because he speaks with a European accent because he was raised by a single European mom. And he says, Papa. And I said, just call me sir. What is the problem? Do you need money? Your mom will be very mad if I don't help you out.
Did a
And he
chest
said,
hair grow in the middle of the call?
I don't know if any chest hair grew in the middle of the call, but I think he's too tall for puberty. I think he's actually outgrown puberty. And he goes, I try to be like you, Papa. And I said, what the hell are you talking about? And he said, I kill hooker, Papa. And I said, you killed a hooker. And for the first time, I thought to myself, I could love this boy. I could find in my heart to love this boy. And I said, okay, here's what we're gonna do, Brendan. You're gonna sit right there, and I'm sending over a team. Okay, it's a strong team. These are people these were devout followers of Roy Den Hollander's men's rights group. They are going to go and they are going to make this dead hooker disappear. And this is when I was very proud of him. Dead hookers, Papa. I lied. And then I almost shed a tear, tech stuff. This was like that tender moment. And I said, you were banging two hookers? And he said, no, just one. But then one came to pick her up and saw she was dead. So I kill her too. No witnesses, Papa. And I said it was instinctive. I think I meant it. I just said, I love you, son. And
And hung up.
it was so weird because I didn't even know what was happening. I was so emotional. And so I hung up and I sent the team over there, and those women and their families, by the way, will never be heard from again. But the answer to your question is yes, he is a big time lady killer at NYU.
Uh, I meant lady killer like he ladies want to be with him, not he's murdering women. I mean, he's like a playboy. That's what I meant.
I
Lady
can be
killer.
both. I mean, you obviously don't come from this, you don't have the wealth and experiences I have.
I guess not. I guess
Often those two things go hand in hand.
okay.
This is why I'm such a big fan of Army Hammer.
How do you feel about this? Page Six reported that Barron shut down a whole floor of Trump Tower for a date.
I know I just told you about the date. That was the date.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was the date. Well, he is considered a playboy on Page Six, so he is getting a reputation just like his father. So you must be very proud of him.
You know, if I ever have to, like I said, I started to have these odd feelings for him during this moment. But, one day maybe I'll sit him down and say, one day, Barton, you're going to meet a special lady and she's going to want kids and you're going to have kids with her And maybe one of those kids will be a daughter that's incredibly sexy. And I wish that for you. That's a incredible feeling. It's an incredible joy to be there's girl dads. I consider myself hot smoke show girl dad. Anybody can be a girl dad, but not everybody can have a daughter that's I call her a DILF.
He is a DILF.
She's a real DILF.
Mr. President, it's
The radical
time.
left is always doing this. They always try to sap the power from my strong Trump computer.
Mm. It-
Trump computers have over 30 minutes of battery life. Nobody's ever had computers with this strong power. Runs it runs
it's
completely
very
on
strong.
it's a computer that runs on completely on coal.
Is that the future of computers?
You just open up the floppy disk drive and you shave in bits of coal and then press the button back and it goes and the coal goes in there and works its magic.
That's awesome. Can you get me one of those computers?
Well, we're having a sale. They're only $3,000 each.
That's awesome. Uh, Mr. President, it's time for questions. This comes from our right now he's considered the Patreon vice president. Michael C. Good day from down under, Dr. President, sir. How does it feel knowing that your most loyal follower, who you pardoned, the QAnon shaman, is suing you and others for 40 trillion, where he claims he is the true American president, claims he write The Dark Knight and Avatar, and he rescinded support for you because you wouldn't release the Epstein files?
Okay, here's the thing, and Michael C. probably knows what I'm going to say. I had to I had to do an event on YouTube, and he asked all those questions already. Next question.
Um, Alex's iPhone G. Doctor, Mr. President, Reverend Shaman, Esquire, sir, the Ryder Cup team is in shambles. How are you going to fix this for your third term? And is it time to step in and do it yourself, akin to King Jong?
That's a great question because golf, and I will say this to Michael C., just so he doesn't feel completely left out. Fuck the QAnon shaman. That's a quote. You can quote me.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna go to my third election wearing the skin of the QAnon shaman.
The
How he
headdress.
wore like the headdress, the bit. I'm gonna wrap his skull around my head on a MAGA hat. That's what I think of him with his lawsuits and his bullshit. With peace,
Wow.
of course. I'll do it peacefully.
Force peacefully. How else are you going to do it?
There's only one way. But as far as Alex's iPhone G is concerned, very simple. It's very simple. And by the way, how about this for a plug? I will see Alex's iPhone G in Washington, D.C. I'm doing shows there this Saturday because of the government shutdown. So how about that for a plug? You didn't see that coming, tech stuff.
I did not. Left
But
field right there.
the Ryder Cup, we are replacing it because we don't want all these European assholes coming and trying to steal our great wealth. We're now going to call it the Ryder Bowl, which, as you know, has more liquid than a cup.
I thought it was going to be the Ride Him Cup.
No, this is a classy Christian affair tech stuff. So the Ryder Bowl will involve golf. We will take the best golfer from each state into a tournament, crowning the Ryder Bowl champion.
So it won't be international.
We're done with international. It's America first, and now it's America only. That's America only is the new Trump motto. America first was good, but that made a lot of people think, well, I could be second. And now you know what we want? We want America second also, and we want America third. And whatever comes after third, we want that too.
Fair. Um, this, this is a very long question.
Who asked it?
Sarah Huckabee Blutarski.
All right, she's a loyal. We love Huck, and she's loyal.
Sir, oh great sir, if I may remind the royal court here, Halloween is the perfect time to clean out those expired medicine cabinets and give them away to the little trick-or-treaters, Luden's cherry cough drops purchased during the Iraq War. The first one, a half-finished tube of Neosporin from 2013, all great spooky treats for little ones as they scamper about in the night of in their costumes. So, sir, great sir, what would you give away? Expired Adderall XR, the last three tablets of Ronnie Jackson Special Edition Oxy pills, the Snowy Don Jr. plastic bag. Please tell us, great sir. Sniff burp.
Sorry, I just got an very important update.
I'm not reading it again.
Was it about treats for Halloween? There was a whole lot of talk. I
Yeah,
stopped
drugs.
listening
It was
after
a lot of
Luton's. Well, here's the
but
thing.
yeah,
Here's the thing. You know, what I will give is if you're a kid, if you dare knock on Mar-a-Lago or the White House door, you get bottles full of Tylenol. And I don't ever want to hear anybody talk trash about Luden's cough drops. Luden's cough drops
are awesome.
are probably the greatest medicine ever invented.
I agree.
Whoever came up there, how did the Ludens guy not get Ludenchris, we call them. It's ludicrous that they didn't get the Nobel Prize for medicine.
Slip between the cracks there. How do you feel about the other flavor? I mean, wild cherry was, I mean, they tried to make that honey.
I got to be honest with you. I didn't mind the honey. I mean, it was the yellow ones, the pea
Yeah,
colored
yeah,
ones.
yeah.
Those were it's here's how I'll compare it. Nobody likes the yellow starburst. But honestly, if you have no candy, the yellow starburst is still a solid candy. It's just you have the strawberry and the cherry right next to it, and you're like, "Fuck you, yellow starburst." But
I
in
like
event,
yellow.
well, no, I think they're good too. But most people prefer the cherry and the strawberry. And I think with Luden's, the cherry was so top tier that no flavor was going to come close. If I were Luden's, I would have invested in a grape to get the blacks. I think a grape Luden's would have been good.
I agree.
And then you sign an endorsement deal with Ludenchris, and he'd be like, "When I suck, you suck," just like that. And it would then people would be saying pause and no homo and that's suspect and he's zesty and whatever the hell they say.
That's viral for sure.
Oh, it's very viral.
Here's a good one. Comes from DJ McConnell. Mr. President, sir, I wanted to get your thoughts on Pete Davidson doing the Saudi Comedy Festival. Do you think that shows great strength or weakness to take a large amount of money from a country that sponsored the 9/11 attacks that killed his father?
I know yesterday I actually had this discussion with DJ and I said it was strength, and I've changed my mind. It's total weakness. If you're Pete Davidson and you're going to take the blood money of the Saudis, which I take also, by the way, I have tremendous amounts of Saudi blood money. Um, they've done great deals with us. They've given my son-in-law, Jared Kushner, tremendous wealth. But if I'm Pete Davidson, it's a little too far if they killed your dad. Okay, if your dad was a great dad. Okay,
Hmm.
if I'm Pete Davidson's father and I get killed by the Saudis, the only strong way for Pete Davidson to arrive at the Saudi Comedy Festival is to literally crash a private plane into MBS's house.
They're gonna say he rolls in on a fire truck. Okay.
Now, eye for an eye for an eye. You take out my dad with 9/11. I take you guys out on 10/11.
I like that. I
So
think
I would
that's it.
say it was weak. I would say it was weak for him to do it the way he did it.
A few more questions here, Mr. President. This comes from Thomas Fitzgerald. Uh,
Oh,
Thank you, sir, Mr. President, sir. Thank you for showing tremendous strategic courage by calling in all of our top generals to one location on the eve of a government shutdown in order to be lectured by Secretary of War Hegsexuep about warrior ethos. Do you think radical left Hollywood needs to be called in for a lecture on MAGA movie ethos with yourself, Mel Gibson, James Wood, and Kirk Cameron?
You know what? You know what, Tom Fitzgerald? You're like the player. You're like Kawhi Leonard. It's like if you could just stay healthy and stay on the team the whole time, you'd be an MVP. Because this is, I mean, first of all, you know your president loves when his own strong words like heg sex you up gets nobody else is quoting bars. Did that
Good.
win or did that lose? I think that one lost in an upset. I think we all thought that one was going to win best bars.
It lost in an upset, if I remember correctly.
Right. And I think it was because we didn't have enough people who probably knew that Color Me Bad, they were scared because Color Me Bad, they thought it was all colored people. And it's not. It was actually very, very diverse. Um, I think that's a great idea. But because, Pete Hegseth is such a warrior, we need somebody running. Mel Gibson would make too much sense running a sort of anti-woke change Hollywood culture meeting where we call in all the directors and writers in Hollywood. So I would want somebody like the equivalent of Pete Hegseth at War. So I would say we would bring in Stephen Miller to run the Hollywood department of artistic correction.
Okay.
But he would be there with Kevin Sorbo, John Voight, Kirk Cameron. Um, and I think we should. I think we should bring in all the filmmakers and, especially the DEI ones like Ryan Coogler and Spike Lee. And I
Jordan
don't know.
Peele, bring Jordan Peele in
Oh,
there.
Jordan Peele, get out.
Yeah.
That's what we'll say to him. Say, get out. How does it feel now? Not too good, you racist son of a bitch. And so I think that would be great. And we'd be left with real filmmakers who make patriotic content. I think we could even do a hologram of John Wayne. I think that would be like sort of the headliner. One of the great things about John Wayne that I've always loved, and people don't talk about it enough, when woke Marlon Brando, who we admit was a talented actor, overrated, I think, but talented, when he won the Oscar for Godfather, great
Mhm.
movie. He was ungrateful. He didn't go up and get it. He sent up some Native American woman. And my favorite thing ever about John Wayne, even above all the great movies, he tried to run on stage and attack that Indian girl. That's patriotism?
I don't think it went down like that, but
I think it's funny because no, that's exactly they held him back. He wanted to go out and attack her on stage, but they held him backstage. And I thought, that's what you need in your movie stars. He played a cowboy in movies, and now he thinks he has to. He was so committed that he wanted to attack a woman, a native woman.
you need to be where the line of reality is blurred.
That's the kind of it's called method racism.
Two more questions, Mr. President.
Thank God. I've got to go watch Slow Horses on Apple TV Plus.
It's come from Stuart M. Mr. President, sir, I was wondering why you took your daughter
I thought you were going to
Tiffany.
ask me about the show, tech stuff.
Which show?
Slow Horses on Apple TV Plus. It's a very strong show.
Someone told me it was good.
Probably some failed comedian. He keeps talking about it.
You said it, but someone else said it too. I think Joe Garrix might have told me. Um, Stuart M. Mr. President, sir, I was wondering why you took your daughter Tiffany with you to the UK recently on your state visit, and why you sit her next to the iPhone guy, Tim Apple, at the royal banquet.
It's very simple. I brought her to England because I was hoping she'd get kidnapped and sex trafficked.
Failed.
Well, think about this. Talk about three birds. You know how people do two birds with one stone? I do three birds with one stone. If my daughter, so-called daughter, gets kidnapped, I get strong sympathy. I get to attack England for allowing her to be kidnapped.
Hmm.
And then if she gets sex trafficked and disappears, bye bye. Don't have to worry about Tiffany. That's called a Trump three birds with one stone.
Last question comes from Sharif Jackson. Doctor, sir. Dame Dash had another controversial interview on The Breakfast Club, and he actually defended your bankruptcies, calling you a great businessman. I know you have bars, but were you involved at all with Rockefeller Records and or Rockefeller Wear clothing?
Well, that's a good question because I wasn't involved in the music, but they actually, people don't know this. Okay, because as you know, Rockefeller is a sort of old money. That's an old sort of money reference, and they wanted to be very hip, the blacks at Rockefeller. But
Hmm.
they weren't Rockefeller. They came to me and they said, we would like to call our new label Trumpefeller Records. And I said, what do I get for this? And they said, well, we'll give you 2%. And obviously to be strong for your brand. And I said, I want 50%. And they said, sir, that's too much. And I said, then you can't call your label Trumpefellers. And I think it suffered. I think it suffered a lot without the Trump brand. Imagine now if they were Trumpefeller Records, how many records they'd be selling.
I like Rockefeller Records. I really do. I think it would be selling more records than Rockefeller right now.
Rockefeller's selling like no records.
Zero. Mr. President, thank you so much for joining us. You were so busy, and I always appreciate the time you carve out for our loyal fans. We appreciate you. Um, Check out the Patreon, patreon.com/MPGA to get hundreds of hours of bonus content, special guests, Fred Trump traditions, bonus shows. It's awesome. Binge for it. Check it out a month. If you like it, stay on. If not, hey, just binge it out. Up to you. It's great content every single month, hours added on. So it's patreon.com/MPGA. Mr. President, the floor is yours.
Well, it's a very important thing going on right now. And that thing is called, hey, everybody, it's JL. Like I said, October 4th, two shows in DC. This is it this week. Let's go. And where are my Philadelphia fans? October 22nd, big show in Philly. After that, I have some shows in November in Princeton and Huntington, New York. And then December to my home away from home, maybe my future home one day, Toronto, Canada, and Charlotte, North Carolina. So get your tickets. I can't wait to see how many people started listening to this podcast after I got 5 million views for my impression in the last 48 hours, but I'm guessing none because that's how comedy works. But if you want to get the
And if you
blonde
are new,
chick,
welcome, welcome. If you are new, welcome, welcome.
and if you're the nice blonde woman, the nice looking and very nice blonde woman who used my video to lip sync and now has more views than me lip syncing me, thank you for validating everything I think about society and comedy. God help us all.